Hello and welcome. Today's video is actually a follow-up to my very last video, and if you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and pause this one and watch that one. I will link that up in the corner there for you and probably in the description box below. Have you paused? Okay. All right, now if you're already caught up, then today is part 2. Let's follow up on those Pearl X pigment powders and see what kind of creations we can do with them. Should be fun. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. My name is Miranda, and on this channel we do 2 mystery art boxes every single month. We do Smart Art Box and Palettefull Packs. Sometimes we get into a stack of old boxes that I have down below that I haven't yet opened, working on that one. And we also do a lot of watercolor, which is my passion. So that's basically what you're going to see on this channel if you decide to join us. So hopefully we will see you around. So I videoed the first part of this when I was doing my original JAZZA's unboxing. So I don't quite remember if I intro into it at all or anything, so here's my intro into Pearl X powders. Let's just get started. Hey guys, I had to step in real quick and show you this. Holy cow, I had no idea all the stuff you could do with Pearl X. So mix 4 parts Pearl X to 1 part gum arabic and add water for a watercolor paint. And then if you let it dry out, you can reconstitute it. That's cool. You can use this Pearl X with plastic shrink paper. I love that stuff. It says just dust it on there before you shrink it and the powder is going to become embedded in the surface when it shrinks. How fun. Dust a polymer clay rubber mold with Pearl X before pressing in the clay. It'll color it in and it will make the clay easier to release from the mold. Mix it with any clear medium to use over any surface, so you can mix it with varnish, acrylic, or solvent-based as a coating over clay wood or paper. Dust Pearl X onto any surface and then seal it with a spray lacquer. Wow, okay, so you can like take the powder, drop it onto a surface, and then like spray it very carefully so you don't like push the powder off, and then you have this really cool pearly looking powder stuff. I just think that sounds so fun. Knead the dry Pearl X powder into polymer clay to color it. Boring. Still cool. Can be mixed into wax for candle making. Okay, nice. Mix it with clear embossing powder for rubber stamp embossing. Okay, it's not an embossing powder itself. It's warning you of that. Just mix it in. You can color it, I guess. And clean all your materials with warm water after use. All right. That's so cool. You guys, this stuff looks way fun. And we should just stop talking about it and start playing with it, huh? I was playing with one of these, the blue one, just to kind of see how much was 1/4 teaspoon, for example. So when I made these up, I knew what kind of container. And I know it came with those empty containers, that Smart Art box, but I thought maybe I'd put them in a pan, like a full pan or half pan instead. So here is a full pan. Let me put this down. First of all, before I do that, this made an ever-loving mess. So it's all over my fingers, all over my desk, and just a mess. So we're going to address that in a minute. Also, this is a full pan, not a half pan. And this 1/4 teaspoon fills up this entire pan. So I just filled this with water, poured it in there to see how much it was. I don't have a smaller measuring device that I can think of anywhere in my house. And I want to put 1/8 teaspoon in here, and then 1/8 teaspoon of water, and what is that, 16th or 32nd of the gum arabic. So I'm just going to have to kind of guess what is going in there. So they may not turn out perfectly, but I thought by having them in these full pans, they could dry down and then I could reconstitute them like watercolor, like the brochure recommends. At least I'd have some in that form. And then I do have that empty Meeden tin that I just put in my giveaway bin in that video. I'll link up there for you. And I could pull that out and put these in there if I wanted to, so I'll decide later. But first of all, we have to get the desk protected because it was such a mess. So our local bank will give out these calendars. You can see this is a super old one. So I hold on to these because they make really good desk covers. All right, I have 9 half pans, a pipette to get water out of my distilled water easily. So I have distilled water over there and all 9 of these colors and some gum arabic. So we are going to make all of these colors, and I suspect that's going to take a while, but oh well. Oh dear. Okay, so you see how it kind of sticks to the spoon? Yeah, it's a mess. And then it was sticking to the spoon, so I just tipped it over to look at it. It fell off over here. So I think this may be why I avoided this project in the first place. Is going to be a bit unpleasant to deal with. And I have to wipe the spoon off now somehow before I go into the next color. Look at my fingers. Well, I'll do the water part. Maybe that will take care of some. Is that about half? I have no idea. Wow, this is messy. I need to just get another teaspoon majigger. I'll be right back. Another teaspoon majigger. Grabbed a container of water so that I could rinse this off. But let's get some gum arabic in there. So we just need, we're gonna say that's right. I have no idea. And I forgot to get something to stir this with. Here's a sucker I will probably never eat. We'll use the sucker stick. It doesn't say you're supposed to mortar and pestle them. It just says stir them gently, so hopefully that's what we're doing. See, I must have measured something wrong the first time because it was supposed to like fill this up. Well, I guess the powder has air in it, so we probably could do more. I think we should then. Just making a mess. All I'm doing is making just a huge mess. Very uncomfortable with this whole process. I think this blue is going to be imperfect. What do you guys think? Probably need a better stir stick. You know that little rake we got in the JAZZA super sculpture thing? That might act like a mini whisk, but I'm not going to pull it out to use it. It just occurred to me, I need a whisk, and that was the first thing that came to mind when I thought of a mini whisk. Now this one here is the rose gold, and I wanted to bring it back to real time for a second to show you how it turns gold when you add the water on top of it. It was so pretty and such a cool effect. Had to show it to you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, I got them all done. Overall, I found that a very unpleasant experience. I did not enjoy that at all, and this one was kind of separating, so I re-stirred that. It looks like that one has some spots that are separating, and you guys were probably yelling at me when I did that, because I did find out that you need to mix the powder and the gum arabic before adding the water, or you don't get it fully mixed together. Anyway, here's the mess down here. It's not as powdery as I expected. It's still a bit of a mess, but this is how much gum arabic I have left from the first jar, and I have 2 other jars still that are full. So we'll close that up. What else? Let's go ahead and try some calligraphy. So here's the little pad of Bristol from that Smart Art box. Let's try it. The thing I don't know is if there is enough depth in here to actually make a pen like this work. Not sure on that. Well, we'll give it a try. You can see the separation a little bit in that. It's probably because I didn't do it right. Not impressed. Not by my lettering skills and not by this. It seems very watery still. So there are probably other recipes that I could look up that's different than the 4-to-1 thing. I'm just following the instruction booklet that it has in the Smart Art box, so that's what we get. Yeah, it seems like still really powdery and watery all at the same time. Washed off okay. That's good. Guess we could get a brush. Try a different color so we're not using all of one color. Maybe this color seems very full. It's not drying very fast. I can't get the sizing out of this brush. Interesting. Okay, a few millennia later, I think I got the sizing out of the brush, along with a bunch of bristles. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, look, they're just like falling out. Ugh. Maybe that's the last of them, huh? See how it seems really powdery? It's very strange. Ooh, certain angles though, it's shiny pretty. And that's kind of the point, I guess. What I think I will do is let these ones dry down, basically, and try some of the other techniques the instruction booklet here talked about, that whole list of techniques. I'm not going to do all of them. Mix it with any clear medium. Okay, we can try that one. We can try that one. Which means I have to deal with the powdered version of this stuff again, which makes me cringe. Okay, on to dealing with powdery stuff again. Let's dig out some varnish and see what that looks like. So I figured we could try the varnish thing on this little painting. It could be a disaster, but that's okay. So I'm just going to use this Liquitex gloss varnish. I have just a lid that I was going to throw away. Put a bunch in there, about how much we think we'd need for the painting. Oh, I don't think this lid is going to work. I had a little dish out and it's perfect and I can't find it. I was going to use it for a previous project, but oh well. I'm going to use the gold. I have no idea how to do this, so I just know that is probably way too much. Hair is always helpful. Okay, so you can kind of see that mixing up. That's pretty. Now this is a method I might be able to get behind. Not mixing perfectly, but it's not bad. You just gotta be persistent. And I know this varnish dries fast, so I need to be kind of quick. All right, let's see what it looks like over this painting. Yeah, it's doing exactly what I hoped. It's giving it a sparkle. That's awesome. Now this is an acrylic painting, so we found out that's all you want to use that particular varnish on, because it will pull up other paintings, other paint I should say. That's kind of pretty. So I probably could have put even more of the gold in there, but I wasn't sure. Plus this being a subtle sparkle is just fine with me. All right, let's get it a little bit of a crossways. I want to be quick because this is actually one of my good acrylic brushes, so I don't want the paint or the varnish to dry on this brush. Plus, if this varnish starts to dry on the painting, it will become sticky and tacky, and so it'll start pulling up your previous brush strokes. So you definitely have to be speedy. So when I varnish my son's painting that I did the other day with you guys, or the other week at this point, I need a really big brush because I ran into that trouble. I was varnishing it and wasn't quite done because it's so big, and the previous layers started to pull up and show like a tacky, sticky look, and it was really not great. Right now, the only place I can see sparkle is in the dark places of this painting, right there and over here in this area. So I have no idea what you guys will be able to pick up on that. But now this little painting is all sparkled up. That's really cool. Okay, well, that works. I'm gonna go get the varnish out of this brush immediately. So in the past, I bought a box of these tiny little canvases, and they came in a box of 100. And I gave a lot away to my nieces, and I still have a box with probably 70. So I figured this would be a good thing to experiment with the put powder on and then put the spray varnish over it. We're gonna do that. We'll see what happens. I put 3 together here. We're going to use the Oro Rosado, oh, I guess there is English, Rose Gold, Silver, and Aztec Gold for this little experiment. Oh, dealing with this powder again. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Pull up a little powder. Kind of reminds me of playing with Brusho, you know? If you don't know what Brusho is also a powder like this. It's basically crystal watercolor, if you want to think of it like that. And you can tap it on, just like we're doing here. Based on the way these look in those full pans right now, I thought these 3 colors would actually go really nicely together, but since they're not like being distributed down into a paint or a liquid, I guess I should say, I can't really tell anything right now. I'm trying this method, but I don't know what the outcome should be. You know, I didn't go look up YouTube videos and see if anyone else had done this already. So now we have to get some spray varnish. Dang it, I just put my varnish bin away. What was I thinking? This is what I have, Kamar varnish. Now, you're supposed to do this outside, and if I were a smart human being, I would, except it's really cold and it's snowing a lot. So I'm just going to be gentle and careful right here at my desk. Don't worry, my house is really open. I have like 2,000 open square feet behind me, so we should be good. Shake can vigorously for 2 minutes. I'll be back. All right, I have the camera up really high away from this because this has to be sprayed up high, and like you kind of let it mist onto this. Obviously, if you sprayed this, it would just spray the powder stuff right off. So I have no idea if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Oh, see, it is spraying the stuff off. Okay, so I just grabbed an empty box and I'm gonna put it on the back side of this, and I'm gonna spray kind of towards that box and then see what falls onto the painting. This is scary. It's like, I don't know that we're actually getting enough varnish on this, so I'm gonna do it from a different angle now. This is hard with studio lights and the whole works in here. think we're getting somewhere though. I can see that it has a good solid coat on it. So I wonder if we could get a little more direct. We'll see. Yeah, it's not spraying it off now. It's kind of reconstituting that. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's a huge heavy coat. We'll let that dry, come back and see what everything looks like. For the record, that cat is making me very nervous. Here's the stuff I have drying. There's the bad kitty cat. These have been sitting back here for approximately 2 days, a little less. And you can see that they have dried down to very small amount of pigment. So that was kind of interesting. And I have a brush that is not my favorite one. I don't use all the time because I'm not sure what these are like on brushes. So I figured I would just pull out this Princeton Summit from one of the subscription boxes and try that. So let's see how they re-wet. Try the stuff on the side. Wow. Okay, look at all that on the brush. Let's go ahead and swatch them all. I have my Etcher sketchbook here. Guess we might as well use this page, huh? This is the one in the beginning that doesn't lie flat because of the way it's glued to hold it all together. I did label these with a black Posca marker. True Blue. Okay, let's do this more like if it were regular watercolor. So I can get a little more shimmers in there, but not necessarily any kind of darker color. I guess more shimmers is darker. I also don't really know what I'm doing with these, so there is that. Aztec Gold. They re-wet really easily. Almost seems like I need a bigger swatch to make use of all that shimmery shine in there. Solar Gold is next. That one wants more water. There we go. Okay, so I redid that. I just took water and basically erased that. And the reason I put this big block here was to show you, if you haven't already seen, how easily these pigment powders do erase. So I just have some water on my brush. It is just coming right up off of the paper. So they are no sticking power, no staining power, hardly at all. Which made it kind of hard when I was doing the little painting over off to the side there because I couldn't really layer very well, which is good to know. So yeah, these are really hard to paint with. However, at the same time, this was kind of fun. It was interesting doing an entire painting with just metallic paint. And no greens, and you saw when I tried to mix the blue and the gold just to see if I could make a green, that didn't happen at all. I got more like a brown, or basically the Aztec Gold with a little bit of blue granulation in it. So here's this little painting, and a little closer. I know the cabin one is kind of showing through there, but it's different, you know? That's all I can really say about that. It's different. I think these would be really fun to glaze over things occasionally, and maybe that's how people use them. I just have not had time in the past several days to even go on YouTube and look around for other people's videos on these Prolex powders, so at some point to actually look into that further. For now, I think I will keep these maybe in that maiden tin that I have in the giveaway bin. Hold on, I'll get that. Here it is. And so I have 9 of these. I can just pull this out and just glue them in like that. Ta-da, then I will have plenty of room. Let's look at all of our projects that we did. Okay, so we have this. Now this is kind of cool. This is raised. off the paper. I don't think you can see it at all, but it has texture to it. It feels like an embossing powder was put on it. And so that is really cool, and I did not expect that to happen at all. Oh, look, though, it's coming off on my thumbs. Oh, interesting. Well, I didn't really want to bring my sketchbook outside and spray it. Maybe I won't worry about it since both sides are Prolex, but that means this whole bit of text here might come off onto this sketch. Well, maybe I will. It's snowing outside and only like 30 degrees Fahrenheit, but some spray in the cold is better than none, right? I'm not going to spray inside again like I did the other day because that was nasty. We did the sheen on this. This was the overlay with glitter. And now that it's dried, it is extremely subtle. So basically, the only place you can see the gold glitter is in these darkest areas, which I already showed you. However, now that it's dry, it's even harder to see. So if you really want a glitter shine on something, I would say go with a much heavier application of the powder mixed in with your varnish. It is pretty, it's just subtle. So this is where we just sprinkled it on. You guys just saw this. For me, it's been a couple of days. But this is what it looks like dried up now. Dried out, dried down, I don't know. So it did kind of spread the powder out a little bit with the spray, but not very much, so you don't really have like a color effect. It's definitely not as dramatic as anything like Brusho would be. At least this one, since it's been spray varnished. Oh, it's still coming off on my finger a little bit. But that's because we dropped the varnish from a very higher distance anyway. So I guess this could be interesting as a background or something. I'm not really sure. If you're new here and you like this video, go ahead and hit subscribe down below and hit the bell for all notifications. That way it'll tell you when my video comes out, which is every Friday and Tuesday. So if you aren't sure, if you just click on my name down at the bottom, it'll take you to all my other videos and you can browse through and see if it's something that you might be interested in. I'd love to see you on the channel. Comment below if you are a brand new person today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really glad you guys were here. Oh, P.S. Thank you for voting on the last video for what I should do with JAZZA's Ultimate Creativity Collection box. And I think you're right. I think the mass majority said sell it. I'm going to sell it. I don't know when. Still tempted to give like the inky box at least in a giveaway. Okay, dust a polymer, oh my goodness. So dust Prolex onto any surface and then seal it with a spray liqueur. I wanted to say liqueur again. Ah! All right, another, camera, stay still. I got 3 together. I put 3, and that went through to my desk, so I gotta clean that up now. Oh, I lost my toothpick. Oh, it's in it. It's in it. I'm good. Comment below. What should they comment below?